a democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is here as well. It is a Wednesday morning. We're all feeling a little unsatisfied about how things have turned out so far, but there's hope for all sides at this point. But today I think it's time to talk about halftime in the NFL. We are at the halfway point in the NFL season. We're coming up on week 9, and the trade deadline didn't give us a whole lot.
It was predictable. I mean, you got cap issues coming into next year. You don't know where the cap's going to sit. You don't know how much money you're going to have to spend. You don't want to take on contracts. The one guy that didn't move that I was a little surprised was Stephon Gilmore.
Right.
I figured, when I heard the price, I figured somebody would pony that up because he signed through next year. I had a really team-friendly deal.
Mm-hmm. I thought that Stephon Gilmore would go. I thought more of the Bengals would go, honestly. I thought there'd be more of a, out with the old guard kind of thing with Geno Atkins wanting out of town. And I get that who knows what kind of calls they got on him. Will Fuller not being moved by the Texans was real interesting to me because
the Texans are awful.
Yeah, the Texans are awful.
They're run poorly. None of it's surprising to me, just solely because I mean, who's even making the decision at this point?
Mm-hmm. But the Green Bay Packers not making a move. Obviously, Will Fuller was the trade target for them with the Houston Texans, but I guess the Texans just wanted too much for him. But I'm surprised that they didn't try to make him a move for someone else.
Well, you're going to lose him at the end of the year for nothing. So congratulations.
Oh, Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Green Bay, they're just committed to having no targets for Aaron Rodgers. You have a 36-year-old quarterback that you have Devontae Adams and a bunch of dudes.
We want to prove how good he is. That's all this is at this point. It's just, we don't need to change. Aaron can carry us through. Yesterday it came with a whimper with the Miami Dolphins making 2 moves with 2 players that nobody cares about. DeAndre Washington coming to the Miami Dolphins, and they shipped Isaiah Ford, a wide receiver, to the New England Patriots. Like that's going to matter for the Patriots.
That's just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah. So let's look back at the moves that did happen, though, in the weeks leading up to the trade deadline. Which one did you think was the most impactful?
Yannick Ngakoue going to the Ravens. Especially now because apparently every linebacker they have has the coronavirus.
Right.
So, I mean, adding another weapon to that defense is frightening because that defense is really, really good. Mm-hmm. With Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue and everything they have in the secondary, that's an incredibly talented defense. Mm-hmm. And it's going to have to be because they can't throw to save their lives. Because Lamar Jackson's not a good quarterback, and people are going to slowly learn that I'm right about that. Mm-hmm. Especially if he keeps taking hits like he's getting run through a car wreck.
Right. The turnovers are not a good sign. It's going to happen to everybody eventually. I was still shocked that was his first pick 6 of his career.
Ever. It was the first one he ever thrown in his life.
Really? He didn't even throw one at Louisville or high school or nothing? Wow.
He had never thrown a pick 6 in his life.
Jeez. That's a little surprising. But now that floodgate's open.
Oh, I won't be shocked if there's another one coming real soon because he makes some terrible decisions.
Mm-hmm. Well, Yannick Ngakoue, adding him and Matthew Judon and Calais Campbell and Patrick Queen and that is a frightening defense when they're healthy. Unfortunately, as Jeremy said, they got 5 linebackers on the COVID list now, and it's not going to be good for them.
Nope.
For the next couple of weeks, or the next week at least. I'm leaning toward Avery Williamson. Avery Williamson going from the Jets to the Pittsburgh Steelers was a big deal.
I like how he has become a better player. Somehow, in the 2 days, he's not been a Jet. I mean, he's just not that good. I mean, he's fine. He's a starting level middle linebacker in the NFL.
Exactly.
But if you think this is going to be a Devin Bush replacement, you're going to be horribly disappointed.
No, and I don't think anybody expects that.
You would be surprised.
Really?
Yes, there are a lot of people that think, oh, this makes them a championship. No, they're already a championship level defense.
Yes.
This is just a little tweak that helps a little bit.
Right, it's Flex Seal. That's exactly what this is. It's
No,
Flex Seal. They just put
Flex
some
Seal
Flex Seal on it.
Flex Seal covers better than he does.
I've always liked Avery Williamson. I think
Oh, I
he's a
don't
hell of a
dislike
tackler.
him. I don't think he's some bum. I just
Right.
This is a guy that's been benched by the Jets twice. So and not like you're getting Ray friggin' Lewis here. You're getting a serviceable linebacker that can play 3 downs. Much preferred if he plays 2. To me, comparing that to Yannick Ngakoue is like comparing a Maserati to a Kia.
Well, it's definitely number 2 on the list. Couldn't do the same one though.
Well, true.
We couldn't talk about the same trade. But I think those were the most impactful.
They were the only impactful.
Really?
Isaiah Ford is not a good receiver. I've laughed at a lot of the, could he be the new slot guy for the big? Who gives a shit? If he is,
can get him the ball.
yeah, I mean, it's just a new receiver for Cam Newton to overthrow by 10 yards. Oh, he's so fast. So is Demir Bird. How's that working out?
But I felt like there were moves that made sense. I mean, Carlos Dunlap going to Seattle, that makes that line better.
He was, 4 years ago called. That was a great move 4 years ago. It's a half-ass move now.
I don't know. The way the Seattle defense picked it up in their last game, they get Jamal Adams coming back, add Carlos Dunlap to it, that becomes a different story. I don't think that's going to be as much of a defense that they're not going to give up as much as they did at the beginning of the season. And that's exactly what you want, is you want your team to get better and better as you go down the stretch. I think, I'm not saying
do you know how many
Dunlap is going to come in and get 8 sacks or something.
Do you know how many snaps he played? Would you like to guess how many snaps Carlos Dunlap played?
No clue.
The same number that we did. 0, not 1. Not in area 1. What happened Sunday had nothing to do with Carlos Dunlap. I mean, he'll be a fine rotational piece. That's it. I mean, you got to remember, this is a dude that's 32, 33 years old.
Yeah.
Father Time's undefeated. And there's a reason he wasn't playing in Cincinnati. Very rarely do you look at a guy not playing for one of the 5 worst teams in the league and go, hey, that'll help. No.
I think it's a fine move.
I would have liked Ryan Kerrigan much more, let me put it that way.
Yes.
That's a guy I do not understand for the life of me why Washington didn't trade him. But you know what that tells me? They actually think they can win this division. And they might not be wrong.
I think they are wrong.
I don't know that they are.
Really?
They have the best defense in the division by a mile. And I mean, is that enough to carry him? Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, hell, yesterday people were talking about the Giants could win the division. This was the second worst team in the NFL 48 hours ago.
I mean, I'm not saying there's no hope to it, but
anybody has. Hell, the Clemson Tigers would have hope in this division. That's how friggin' bad it is.
right. Because as you said yesterday, I mean, Washington does have good pieces.
Yeah.
They've got good receivers. They've got Antonio Gibson, who's a real thing.
If you had to pick a team right now in the NFC East that had the brightest future, who is it? If you don't say Washington, you're wrong.
I'm searching for
There's not
an
another
other
answer.
than that, and there's not.
Because the Eagles are in cap hell, the Cowboys are going to be, and the Giants have Daniel Jones as their quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're reasonably stuck with him. The more I've thought about that, the more that, 2 years in, you can tap out, and a new GM probably will. It's going to hurt.
How much? What do you mean by hurt?
You can't miss on a quarterback like that. You set yourself back 5 years. And I don't care who they bring in. I've heard all kinds of names. Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, there are still the weapons there are still mediocre at best. You still can't block. You still have one of the most talented running backs in the league, and he looks like the ghost of Christmas past. And he gets hurt constantly. I would argue the Giants have the least to be excited about in the NFC East.
I could see that.
That's saying a lot for a team that's being in a division where there's a team being coached by Mike McCarthy.
Right. But I don't think it's just Daniel Jones that will make this hurt. Like, it's not. Yes, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to be like that's the thing that's going to hold them back. They've done other things that are going to hold them back. I mean, like, Arizona proved that you can give up on a first-round draft pick early and still survive if you get the right guy next time.
And they're not going to.
The Giants won't?
No, because they're not. I mean, you got to understand the Giants are going to pick somewhere around 5. I mean, look at the schedule. Trust me, I'm not wrong here. Because they're going to accidentally win games. And trust me, they're not going to win any on purpose.
So Trey Lance to you wouldn't be an answer for them?
There's massive reservations that I have about every quarterback in this draft not named Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
There's a reason that every team that every team with a mediocre quarterback situation is doing their damnedest to lose every time they step on the field.
Right.
Because this is a generational guy, and everybody else is just dudes. Mm-hmm. Justin Fields is a dude. I mean, I know people want him to be more than that, but he's not.
You don't think he's on the level of a Kyler Murray?
Hell no. Not just no, but hell no. God, Justin Fields is if you ordered Kyler Murray on Wish. Good Lord, that thing, ugh. No.
Okay. There are some people that believe he is, though.
And they're wrong. Those people are horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I see a ton of Matt Leinarting in Justin Fields. You have way too good a talent around you to not look like you currently do. Plus, you're playing a bunch of defenses that are slow as hell. Mm-hmm. You know, the Big Ten's terrible. I feel like I've said that every day for about the last forever.
You have.
I mean,
but it's a fact.
The fact remains.
Right.
You see him against real life big boy defenses. Look what he did against Clemson. Oh, he was really accurate. Okay, they were from here to that camera right there. Mm-hmm. I could be accurate doing that, and he was getting receivers dusted.
So there's not a Kyler Murray in this draft.
Not to me.
Okay.
I mean, there's not a. I mean, this is people have compared this draft to the one 3 years ago. There's way more Baker Mayfields and Josh Rosens in this to me than there are Sam Darnolds.
Okay. I think there were some other smart moves that were made at the trade deadline. I mean, Marcus Golden, he's going to be a fine little piece for the Arizona defense.
I didn't even hear about that.
Oh yeah, Marcus Golden went from the Giants for a 2021 6th round pick. So him being in there with
that
Chandler
helps.
Jones being gone.
That's the Chandler Jones replacement.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is he's been in Arizona and he was never as good as he was with the Giants.
No, he was not. But I think it was a sound move. I mean, the Buccaneers making the trade for Steve McClendon. It's fine. It's a piece. You lost a piece.
He's more of a locker room guy than he is anything.
Right, but you lost a piece on the defensive line. You needed another somebody to throw in there. And he's a good, solid piece.
Well, they don't make a lot of humans that are Steve McClendon's size, because he is a giant human being.
Right. The days of Dante Pettis are done.
Bye, Dante.
San Francisco.
That has Jets written all over it.
Yes.
It does. Jets. God, as soon as I saw he'd been released yesterday, I went, well, how long does it take before we make a claim on him? Because I would say it's going to take about 14 seconds. Because if there's one thing the Jets love doing, taking players that failed with good teams and shoehorn them into a spot on this bad team.
Yeah. You're right. That does make a lot of sense.
Oh, it's the jettiest shit I've ever seen. Frankly, I thought about just texting Joe Douglas. Just do it now.
Just do it now.
Just do it now, and because you're gonna. I know you're gonna.
Dante Pettis was a 2nd round pick at one point, had a great rookie year, and then fell off the face of the earth. And, fumbling last week didn't help either.
Yeah. It also didn't help that there are 49 receivers on that team. Yes, I didn't actually use that number on purpose.
Right.
They have 1 billion receivers, and they all are damn near the same guy.
But the fact that...
Minus Debo. Debo's real good.
The fact that they've had so many injuries and they haven't used him, though, speaks
tells you
volumes.
everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Means that for better or worse, they don't think he's a good NFL football player.
Right.
And then you cut him for nothing. And think about this. No team in the league is willing to give up a conditional 7 for him. That tells you everything you need to know. Mm-hmm. John Ross, same way.
Yeah.
You got to understand, there are not many humans on planet Earth that are as fast as John Ross. All 31 other teams looked at him and went, we'll pass.
Why would you want him?
because he's real fast. I mean, if he wasn't just a complete jackass, somebody would have wanted him.
That's kind of my point.
Do you know how many players
Like,
in
what you
NFL
get out
history
of
have
him.
ever been as fast as him?
1.
3. That's 3. That's it.
Right.
Chris Johnson, Tyreek Hill, and allegedly Darryl Greene. Really? One of the greatest corners that ever lived. Played for the Redskins back in the day. And yes, I can say Redskins because it was way back.
Oh, was this like 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Tank just blinked on Darryl Greene. I think Patrick Holt's, blood just came out of his ears when you went, Darryl Greene.
Darryl Greene.
Who?
Who the hell is Darryl Greene?
Dan Marino. Who's Dan Marino?
Come on.
It's that level, just so you know. He was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Not all of that long ago.
Okay. My bad.
John Elway? Who's this John Elway person? Isn't that GM for the Broncos that sucks so bad? Don't ask me why I'm doing my Steve Spurrier voice on you. I have no idea.
That's fine. You take your shots at me. I understand. Dude's gotta make a living. Ted Ginn's also been cut loose.
Stunner. Why do teams keep picking him up?
I don't know.
I don't understand. Like, does Ted Ginn have dirty pictures of every GM in the NFL? I mean, because he's god awful. The Bears, who have no weapons, looked at the fastest guy on the team and went, no. Yep.
Exercise those demons.
I'm telling you.
Get them. Get them
The
out.
evil.
Oh, and yesterday also in NFL news, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers activated wide receiver Antonio Brown. Yep, it's gone well. It's gone well through some practices.
What did you think? He was going to bring a knife in and start stabbing
Who
people?
knows?
Jesus
So far,
Christ,
so
he's
good.
been in the building for an hour. It's going well so far.
Just saying. We've had a couple of practices under our belt. No reports of any problems.
What do you think? He's going to show up wearing a Bane mask and just start cutting people?
Would you have been surprised? If he did?
No! And I still won't be.
Then there you go. We got to take this baby steps.
Got to take baby tip.
Yeah, baby steps.
Baby tip.
But
You actually think this is going to work, don't you? You think he's going to come in and be a Pro Bowler?
no, but I
Don't
think
lie to
it's-
me.
No,
Don't lie to me. If you didn't, you wouldn't be so excited about this.
I think it's gonna.
You
matter.
think he's going to come in and be as good as he was, and he's not.
You don't need him to.
I
I
think
needed to be.
double coverage off Evans is what I'm thinking.
Yep.
I think Chris Godwin does that. Godwin opens up the offense.
Yeah, and you add Antonio Brown to it, then everybody
I
opens
think
up.
with injuries, he's going to be Godwin and him going to be beep, 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 beep.
Ron said he thinks he's going to be interchangeable with Chris Godwin. I think you think much higher of this guy than I do. This is the same guy that burned his feet off in Oakland.
Oh, we get it.
This is still a dumpster fire inside of a train wreck with an airplane coming down on top of it.
Look, I'm not saying that this is not the NFL Florida man story waiting to happen.
Brian Haas had a really good point. What helmet is he wearing?
He's got one.
Because, I mean, he's got one, obviously. Apparently, that only mattered when he was playing for John Gruden. Because everywhere else he's going, fuck it. I'll wear one. That one? I'll wear that? I'll wear that one. By the way, this is a totally stupid story. I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, but it's been bugging me for 3 days.
Okay.
Did you watch the Bears and the Saints live?
Yeah.
When Nick Foles' helmet went out, did you notice they just brought him another helmet?
Yeah.
I thought there was this big thing of you can only wear one helmet because only that helmet's contoured to your head. Or if you don't wear that, then your head's going to fall off. They just brought Nick Foles one with a green dot on it. Like, hey, this works. Put this on, dumbass. I mean, do they just hate him? Or, here, Nick, we don't really care if your brain gets damaged. I mean, we talked about helmets incessantly a year and a half ago, did we not?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can only wear one helmet because this is your helmet. There are many like it, but this one is yours. Oh, Nick's helmet went out? Fuck it. Just give me one from the kicker. It's got one bar on it. Who cares?
Oh,
That's fine.
maybe they learned to have backups.
I guess.
Quarterback's always gotta-
I literally sat there for 20 minutes going, oink. What was all that bullshit a year and a half ago if we can just, there's just another one.
Right.
Got a dot on it.
Well, look, if Nick Foles was your quarterback, you know at some point he's probably going to get killed. So it'd be smart to have a backup.
It's okay.
Contoured only to his head.
Carson Wentz is going to start wearing crash test dummy helmets pretty soon, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be quarantined for 14
No.
Oh, Kevin Vick. Kevin Vick, good for you. He took the helmet off and had to be quarantined for 14 days. Contact tracing. God, I hate everything today. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just angry, and I hate the world.
I had a feeling that's what was going on. But, you know.
Oh, I mean, I'm
There's
angry
still-
at multiple things, you know, not the least of which is a pseudo-delusional, possibly deranged person that might be taking over the country in about 9 weeks. Oh, the other one's the idiot governor of the state we live in.
It'll be okay.
No, it won't.
We'll
no,
move
it won't.
on. We'll move on. We'll strive forward as a nation. You know, I thought there are probably a lot of us that have that feeling. But, you know, today when I was coming in, I stopped at the gas station, and a sergeant in the U.S. Army pulled up next to me, and I thought, you know, it just reminded me of things that I love about this country. And
You
that
should
there are
have asked
people
him when the
willing to
bread
serve.
lines are going to start, because I bet he knows.
Come on, man. You got to be more positive about
I
this
don't.
thing.
I don't have to be shit.
You don't have
I
to
can be the
but
most
you
cynical, egotistical, arrogant. I mean, I can just keep throwing out synonyms or what's the word? Adjectives.
Right.
Fuck. I was going to get there eventually.
Yeah, but I see Sergeant Kirkendall, and I think, you know, that's it takes something to fight for your country.
Oh, I don't
You
disagree
take
with any of
pride in
that.
your country. And then I look over to the other side of my car, and there's a guy in a Duke Energy truck, and he's wearing the Duke Energy pullover, and they've got the American flag on the side of it. And you know, these are people that serve our community. Life is going to go on no matter how this thing turns out. You can't let it beat you down. I'm trying to lift your spirit as much as possible here, because I don't think this thing is going to go the way that you want it to. And
I still kind of do. But,
I kind of do. I mean, there's a chance. Everybody's got a chance here. But you can't let it consume you. You have to look at the things, and life goes on around us, and we've survived through worse. Have we? I know that's what scares you. But
He's Joe Biden, and he approved this message. Thank you. It's the last time you'll hear that. You're welcome.
no, you can't let it consume you. It is halftime in the NFL season, though. And moving forward, we got a pretty good handle on who the contenders are, right?
I mean, I believe so.
I don't think there's any dark horses left.
Oh, my God. Patrick Holt said you sounded like Mr. Rogers.
Well,
won't you be my neighbor?
exactly.
The comments just turned on you aggressively. That's the first thing that's made me laugh all day, is that everybody in the comments just went, fuck him.
Hey.
As you're sitting here trying to be Mr. Unity and Nation and blah, 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 and everybody in the comment went, fuck that guy. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're
That's good
welcome.
looking out.
I'm glad I could provide you with some entertainment this morning.
Yep.
The contenders in the NFL, though, we know who they are. And right now, what are you taking? 5 teams to win it all? If you had to make a bet today?
I don't
you
think I
even be
have
that
that
wide?
many. I don't think I have that many. honestly.
Really?
There's not a team in the AFC East that can win the Super Bowl. Agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. There's not a team in the AFC South that can win the Super Bowl.
Agree.
I'm just going to glean over the NFC East. I don't think we even need to talk about that. Can we be really honest and say there's not a team in the NFC North that can win a Super Bowl? Packers can't win a Super Bowl. They can't. They
Okay.
can't. They can't.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Can't.
You're right.
Can't do it. That's 4 of the divisions. 4 of the 8 divisions I can literally just wipe off the world.
Yep.
Now the NFC West, it's a little different, because I think every team not named the San Francisco 49ers can win a Super Bowl.
Could win a Super Bowl.
Yep. Who can't?
Nah, I don't
Really?
know about that. I mean, I know
Really?
Jared Goff played horrible this past week, but I mean, Jared Goff is not a great quarterback, but he is a quarterback that can lead an offense to a Super Bowl. He's done it already.
Out of all the quarterbacks in the NFC West, I don't have trust in Jared Goff. Kyler Murray, I could see Russell Wilson. I don't see Jared Goff doing it.
Okay. I mean,
That's my deciding factor.
I can understand that. But the fact that Jared Goff has already been to a Super Bowl,
Jared Goff.
I wouldn't put it past him.
The weapons are good. The
Anyway.
defense is good. You have the best defensive lineman in the league. You have the best corner in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And you can score points. they can win a Super Bowl. They're better than the Packers. Now, I'm not going to say they're not the line, because to me they are the line. That's where it goes. That's cutoff point.
I like them better than the Cardinals. Why am I crazy?
You like the
I like
Rams
the
better
Rams
than the
better than the Cardinals.
Cardinals? 2 words. Jared Garf. Those are the words that make you crazy.
But all of those other
Kind
things.
of like the 4 words that would make you crazy if you said the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield.
Right, but the only thing is, all of those other things that you said about that team are better than the Arizona Cardinals.
Doesn't matter. The sum of all parts does not equal a quarterback. This ain't 2001. Trent Dilfer ain't winning a Super Bowl. And I got news for you. Jared Garf is he's way closer to Trent Dilfer than he is to Kyler Murray.
Yes, I'll agree with you.
By the way, I refuse to call him Goff. I don't know why I do that, but I do. I think I heard it somewhere and laughed and went, "Yep, that's your name now."
Yep. I do. I like them better than the Arizona Cardinals just because of the defense being so much stronger. Because that's the one thing that I think the Cardinals slack at.
Doesn't matter. If the Seattle Seahawks have taught us anything, it's that defense no longer matters in the NFL. Because to me, that is the scariest team in the NFC, and it's not close. And they don't play any damn defense. Mm-hmm. None. And it doesn't matter. It's you scored? Cool. You have to give the ball back to Russell Wilson now. Yep. Watch this. You see that big Terminator wearing 14 right there? Defend that guy.
Yeah.
Good motherfucking luck.
So there is hope for all 3 teams at the top of the NFC West right now. NFC South, obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading the division. There's still flux with this team. There's no steady rhythm. Right, we'll find out a little bit more on Sunday once Antonio Brown gets slotted into this thing, and who knows? It could work, could not. New Orleans Saints, are they out of it?
Yes. You can't be that bad offensively. I mean, Michael Thomas is going to help a lot, but he ain't going to fix the ills. I think Drew Brees is done. He is done like dinner, in my opinion. Watching him, he looks like an average NFL quarterback at best. And the defense is not good enough. I mean, literally, that team goes as far as Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas can take them. Mm-hmm. And they get in. All right, let me take the journey with me. They get into a shootout with the Cardinals. They get into a shootout with the Seahawks. Do they have the weapons to shoot out with them?
No.
Nope. That's what I look for in terms of being a contender. How many different ways can you win? Okay. And there's only one team that can win any way, and it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it. Even Kansas City can't win every way because they can't grind you out in a defensive game because they can't run.
Okay. All right, so you got 4 contenders there in the NFC. You say the Packers are out.
Now, understand that I'm not saying that the Chiefs aren't contenders. I'm talking about in terms of order. Right. I got a lot of shit yesterday about how are the Steelers won after they're in a close game? Well, because they were in a close game with the team I have 4.
Mm-hmm. And they don't have a loss on the season.
Correct.
That kind of helps with your standing as well. When you're the only undefeated team, it's kind of hard to say they're not the best one that's out there.
Kevin Vick said there's no contenders in the NFC South. He was fighting words. With him, not me. I don't disagree with you.
Kevin Vick's just wishful thinking on that point.
I don't disagree with you, but
you don't think we're Super Bowl contenders? Why not?
Because your quarterback's 906 years old, and you just added a hot grease to an oil fire. Mm-hmm. Really, that's why. I could see things going horribly sideways in Tampa Bay.
To an oil fire. Why is it an oil fire?
Because you have a lot of personalities.
There's been no strife yet.
I'm not saying there has been. I'm saying you just added a catalyst that can change all of that.
I got you. Okay.
Ron is feverishly typing to me right now. I see it in his, I see it in his eyes.
Like,
Oh, he's actually typing to one of you. Give it time. You'll see which one of you is the lucky recipient of whatever he is fervently typing over there.
There are 4 contenders in the NFC. You are wrong about that. In the AFC, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. That's it. Tennessee Titans, you lumping them in there? They got a chance to ugly out one. A deep run in the playoffs.
Who are you talking about? Sorry, I was doing that thing I've been doing to Democrats for the last 9 months. I'm just bleeding you out.
And I was doing that thing. I was trying to shoot my words into your ear because I know you're not listening.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans, are they in this thing?
No.
They have a hope to keep uglying out wins and running the football and getting a deep run into the playoffs. Not a chance in hell? No.
No.
So are we down to 2 in the AFC? The Steelers and the Chiefs.
That's the only 2.
Okay.
The Bills
Yeah, you don't.
And people are going to say, "Oh, you don't believe in the Ravens?" No, because they can't throw. I really struggle to believe in a team that can't throw.
Right. And you did just say Trent Dilfer is not winning this. Is not winning a Super Bowl.
Ooh. Ooh.
What?
Did you just call Lamar Jackson Trent Dilfer? Ooh. There's somebody in the comments that's going to get a little feisty with Tank here in a second.
I'm just saying, if you think he's not capable of winning a Super Bowl, then doesn't that mean he's worse than Trent Dilfer?
No, that's not an apples to apples comparison.
I just find it weird that you're discounting the one team that has historically been able to win Super Bowls by playing excellent defense and running the football, and they haven't had great quarterbacks. I know you think highly of Joe Flacco in his prime, but to me, he never was a great quarterback.
He's fun. He's Trent Dilfer on steroids.
Exactly. And if you think Lamar is a little bit better than both of those guys, why do you think he couldn't win a Super Bowl in the same fashion that the Ravens have become accustomed to winning Super Bowls?
Because he is. I think it's funny that you're saying the way they're accustomed to winning Super Bowls, and one of them was 10 years ago, the other one was 20.
Mm-hmm. So that means they're due.
Oh, God.
And are they not built kind of the same way as those other teams were?
In a very different league, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is an offensive league. If you can't score, you can't win. At the highest level. I mean, I'm not saying the Ravens are probably going to go 11-5 to 12-4.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. You're just not going to win the playoffs.
And they can score.
Yes, very slowly. Very, very slowly.
But what does that do? It eats the clock, gives your opponent less time to score. You have a great defense. I think they're a contender.
I don't.
I mean, they almost should have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And can Pittsburgh play worse than they played offensively against Baltimore? The answer is no.
No.
They had 24 yards passing the first half.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get much worse than that.
Right.
And they still lost at home. See how I'm layering this argument? It's like a real good cake.
Oh, I get it.
Just slathering icing on that bitch.
I get what you're saying, but I think it's too early halfway through the season to say, no, they're out, they can't win a Super Bowl. I think there is a path for them to do that. Should there be well, hell. How many times did Ben hold his shoulder or his elbow on Sunday? If Ben goes down, this is theirs to take. At least for the second team in the AFC. Because I don't think they're better than the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, they're not. The AFC Championship game is going to be the Chiefs and the Steelers, and I don't think anything is going to stop that. Anything.
Barring injury.
Barring COVID.
Yeah.
Because like I said, with Ben, I'm not convinced that Ben's completely healthy. I think he's falling apart again.
I don't even think Ben's necessarily necessary.
I was getting ready to say the exact same
Come
thing.
on, we saw this last year. The team got turned over to Duck Hodges.
And they spent.
No. And, all right, I think me and Ron may be saying different things. Yeah. Ben has to be on the field because he's still a threat.
That's
I'm saying he doesn't have to be all that good for this team to win. Mm-hmm. It's the only team in the NFL that's so good everywhere else that he doesn't have to be an MVP. He doesn't have to be Russell Wilson.
Right.
That's what scares me the most about the Steelers. They can beat you so many different ways. You know, Russell Wilson has a bad day, Seattle's screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can't win. If Russell's not an MVP level player, they can't beat good teams. Pittsburgh's not that way.
Right.
They will find ways to generate beating you.
Yes. I agree with you on that point. But I think, again, it's too early to call Baltimore out of contention. So right now, I guess I would have 7 teams with a shot to win. And you're going 6? No, 5.
I'm at 5.
You're at 5 because you're
I'm at
discounting
5.
Tampa.
I love how he gets so in his feelings.
I'm not in my feelings.
You're discounting my Buccaneers.
That's our difference. That's the difference for us in the NFC. We all see it. We both see a path for 3 teams in the NFC West to win and go to a Super Bowl. Tampa's the only one that would be in question. Outside of that, that's the difference.
Luke Haynes had a really good point. Joe Flacco threw 11 touchdowns and no picks in his Super Bowl run.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson cannot do that.
No.
True.
I think that's
I'll give you
one of
that.
the things. I completely lost my train of thought. Just
Lamar Jackson can't match Joe Flacco, and that's one of the things that.
that people forget when they compare him to Trent Dilfer.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco was otherworldly during that Super Bowl run.
Yes, I don't disagree with you. I mean, Flacco had the arm, obviously, but I just don't think overall he was that good. I mean, he caught lightning in a bottle, and he Nick Foles the Super Bowl run.
Nick Foles, the Super Bowl run.
All right, who should have done something at the deadline?
Green Bay.
Is that the only one that could have made a marked difference in their outlook for the rest of the season if they had made a move?
I mean, they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
They desperately needed to. Because, I mean, the linebacking core is terrible. The good running backs kill them. I can't believe they didn't make a move. Of all the and that's the reason I don't think they're a contender. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Devontae Adams and a bunch of dudes. And that's currently what they have.
I mean, they're kind of the equivalent. They are the equivalent in my mind right now of the New Orleans Saints. It's the same kind of team. I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers at this point is much better than Drew Brees. I think he always has been. So I'm not going at a complete comparison between just the quarterbacks. But I mean, you look at star quarterback, winner, star wide receiver, star running back. What else you got? Because you got a whole lot of nothing going on. A lot of mediocre going on everywhere else. And so, yeah, I mean, making a move for a wide receiver would help. But I don't know that adding Will Fuller would have improved them in my mind any as Super Bowl contenders.
It would have me.
You think the defense is decent
In Green Bay?
for Green Bay?
Yeah. But they need linebackers. Because they can't stop the run. And that's going to be a fatal flaw, especially because of how cold it is in Green Bay when playoff time comes around.
Right.
And this being a year that we're going participation trophy and probably letting 8 teams in each conference. So you're not going to get a bye, and all Green Bay has to do is find a team, wind up with a team that can run, and they're screwed. Just Minnesota. Minnesota's not good at anything else, but they can run the ball down your throat.
Biggest movers coming up down the stretch of the season. You've already gone on record and said you believe that the Miami Dolphins are going to jump over the Buffalo Bills
Yes.
and win the East. Do you believe what you said just a few minutes ago, Washington could come up and win the NFC East?
Can they? Yes. Will they? I don't know. I'm not going to be that bold as to say Washington's going to win the NFC East. I don't know. I mean, one team. All you got to do is get hot and go on a 3-game winning streak, and you're the favorite.
Right.
That's how bad this division is. So, I mean, if I had to pick a team right now, I'll say Philadelphia, but I don't feel good about it.
No, I don't think you can feel good. Yeah, you can't look at any team in this division and feel good about it, because still the high ceiling here is 6
Eagles
wins
are
for
on
the
a
champion.
2-game win streak and have 3 wins. That's how.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. Yeah, the Eagles, despite a win streak, are only 3-4-1 on the season. So you can't feel good about anything in that division. The Cleveland Browns are not in the race for the AFC North.
No. They're bad. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to get killed by either the Chiefs or the Steelers or one of those high-level teams.
Baltimore's not getting close again. I mean, they're already down 2 games to the Steelers.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a chance.
No, the Steelers are going to win that division.
Right. That's going to be a race down the stretch. Indianapolis and Tennessee. See, this is why I have a tough time with Tennessee, because I look at Indianapolis, I look at Tennessee, and I go, Tennessee, I could see a path where they could do some kind of same thing they did last year. Just ugly out wins, surprise beat somebody in the playoffs. I don't see Indianapolis as that same kind of team.
No. I don't like either of these teams, honestly. Yeah, they both have the same fatal flaw to me. You don't have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know everybody, the Tannehill truthers will say, but his quarterback rating's so good. Yeah, if they get behind, they're screwed. If you know he's passing, he is mediocre at best. Mm-hmm. It's when he can run that play-action game, and you never quite know. But if you let Derrick Henry get downhill on you, he can run you over. That's Tennessee's path to righteousness.
Right. The problem with them is their defense is not as good as it was last year.
No.
And they allow way too much. So can Indianapolis catch them? I mean, they're tied right now, so it's not. But I think we all believe that they're the favorite.
Do you know how many teams in the NFL have a better point differential than the Colts?
No.
4. Chiefs, Bucks, Ravens, Steelers. That's it. And would you care to guess who's 6 and 7?
Who?
Dolphins and the Cardinals. Now, granted, I understand that Indianapolis hasn't beaten a team of any. And now they haven't beaten a respectable team yet, and they're going to get demolished by the Ravens on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I get that.
So that is that the only real competitive division other than the NFC South?
The NFC South and the 2 Souths and the NFC West.
Mm-hmm. No, the NFC West. Yeah, that one's
solely because they play each other.
That one's still pretty wide open for me.
Yeah, and they play each other, all of them. Mm-hmm. So I mean, any of the 3 competitors could still win that division.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those 3 at the top of the division at the end. Let's look at some of the bad teams, though. What's a win that you can take away from this season? For like Cincinnati, have they already won?
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
As long as they keep Joe Burrow healthy, he has a solid year. It doesn't matter what it turns out on the scoreboard.
They'll be good next year.
Here's the thing: Joe Burrow needs to be like a newborn baby, 10 fingers, 10 toes at the end of this year. That's a win, because he's real good. And once you improve that defense, that team's going to be pretty scary.
Best case scenario for the Carolina Panthers at 3 and 5.
Best case scenario is probably 7 and 9.
Yeah. What are you hoping to take away from this
The
year?
defense has to improve. I understand they're rookies. I understand they're young. Learning to tackle is not something a lot of guys gain. And right now you have a ton of guys that can't tackle to save their lives. I think Jeremy Chinn's going to be a really good player, but he's got to learn to tackle. Mm-hmm. If he's going to play the linebacker and he's going to play that hybrid role, you have to be able to tackle. And he can't. And he has been run over by running backs routinely. A win for Carolina is you look at the defense and go, we have 8 of the 11 positions in place. Mm-hmm. At the end of the year, you go, we got 8 starters. We need to find 3 more.
I feel really positive about that offense. And
the offense is good.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the Teddy Bridgewater's here to stay.
I think you're right.
I do believe so. I mean, he's got upper echelon of the NFL numbers as a quarterback right now. As far as completion percentages and passing yards go, it's not quite there on the touchdowns, but I think it's about to get better.
Be honest with you, Carolina's the most exciting for the future team in the NFC South.
Yeah. For
You
the
don't
long
have
haul.
you don't have a quarterback. I know what you're getting ready to say. You're about to say, what about Tampa?
No.
You don't have a quarterback.
No, we don't. We're getting Aaron Rodgers in 2 years, and they'll be fine. No, you're right. They are. They have the brightest future of anybody because the window is closing for Tampa and New Orleans.
Yep.
And New Orleans is already closed. I don't think Drew Brees is going to have another shot to make a deep run in the playoffs or to win a Super Bowl again, which is unfortunate. But as you say, Father Time is undefeated.
Yep.
What about the Atlanta Falcons? What's a win for the Falcons?
I don't think there is one.
There's not a win that you can take away.
You got an old quarterback, you got an expensive roster, and you got a defense that is god awful. Mm-hmm. And you don't have any pieces. I mean, that's the thing. You look at that defense. Who's the young guy that you go, that's a piece, other than Deion Jones? Maybe Keanu Neal, but he stays hurt constantly. Other than that, you just look at it and go, good Lord, this is going to be a full tear down.
Right. What do they do about Matt Ryan? Is he stuck? Or are they stuck with him?
Not after the year. They were stuck with him here because the dead cap hit would have been astronomical. But after the year, it's not that bad. I think they can get out of it for $8 million, and they might.
Time to
I
move
would.
on?
Justin Fields has been an Atlanta. That's where he's landing in every forecast I've done. I don't see how he doesn't wind up in Atlanta.
But do you do the thing where you bring Justin Fields in, sit him?
No, because I don't know how much he could glean from Matt Ryan. They're just completely different quarterbacks.
I mean, well, his one weakness would be pocket awareness and passing. So,
Well, you're not going to pay that much to Matt Ryan to be a backup. You know, there's a reason that we don't
let
do
him
this
be
anymore.
the teacher, and Justin develops for a year.
Don't buy it.
Okay.
Rookie quarterbacks play in the NFL. Hey, how many quarterbacks got drafted in the first round of the draft this year?
Yeah.
4. How many of them are playing right now? 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth one, we've killed Green Bay for not drafting a receiver to help their aging quarterback and taking that. I don't want to go down the Jordan Love train again.
Right.
I can't do it.
Just can't do it. How about the Dallas Cowboys? Is there a win at this point?
Jerry Jones could put Mike McCarthy and Mike Nolan on his airplane, and that airplane could wind up in the Bermuda Triangle. That would be a win for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying kill them.
Just make it go away.
Don't kill them. Just
send them to the other dimension, wherever that goes. Yeah. We see what you're saying.
yeah. Dallas is a train wreck.
Yeah.
Dallas is a train wreck.
I don't know how much you could. I can't think of what.
Well, I mean, you have players. I mean, if you want something to hang your hat on, you have players. Jalen Smith's a player. Leighton Vander Esch is a player. Mm-hmm. I think Ezekiel Elliott's still a player. Your receiving corps is fantastic. Dak Prescott, just pay the man right now because this has been a disaster.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're playing like Russian roulette with who's going to play quarterback this week. Mm-hmm. It could be Garrett Gilbert. It could be Cooper Rush. It could be Ben DiNucci. You know, it's not going to be
gross.
Andy Dalton. Because Andy Dalton pissed off some great spirit. Somebody had an anti-Andy Dalton seance about 2 weeks ago.
Those are god-awful. Like, is Mike Kafka still around? Could we not bring him in?
He's a quarterbacks coach for the Eagles.
Throw him into this fold here?
I like Mike Kafka, by the way. Or the Chiefs. Maybe he's the quarterbacks coach of the Chiefs.
I don't know. It's just...
I always liked Mike Kafka.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I thought he could be an NFL starter.
You were wrong.
He never got the opportunity. He is the quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs.
So you're telling me if he'd have gotten a shot, he could have been decent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, maybe Jake Luton will be your next diamond in the rough.
Jake Luton is a diamond in the rough. I'm telling you right now, take Jacksonville against the number against Houston this week because Jake Luton is way better than anybody knows. Anybody seems to know that he is.
So this could be the win for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. The win for the Jaguars could be, hey, we accidentally found a quarterback. When our quarterback apparently, our former starter apparently hit his hand with a hammer or something.
He's going to have to be real good to shy them off of taking another one, though.
Luton?
Yeah.
Luton can be that good.
Really? Okay, I'm kind of shocked.
Luton can be that good. Luton was my 4th best quarterback in this draft class, ahead of Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm. NFL Competition Committee getting together to talk about 16 teams in the playoffs.
Hell, just let them all in. You know what? We're headed for a Joe Biden America. Fuck it. Just let every team in. We'll play. We'll battle to the death.
32-team March Madness. Let's do it. 16 teams in the playoffs is a little much. So I don't like it. I don't like the idea because I don't want the opportunity. I don't want Cinderellas, especially in pro football. Cinderellas are cool for college basketball, but I don't want Cinderellas in pro football. And weird shit can happen, and what happens if, I don't know, disaster strikes and somebody upsets Kansas City in the first round, the 8th seed. Who would that be right now?
Oh, God.
The Chargers?
Let's see.
No, it'd be Cleveland. Cleveland's the last team.
Cleveland's going to be higher than that because their schedule is
Oh, yeah.
gross.
By the end of it, they will be.
I mean, you're talking about by the way, 8 is the Vegas Raiders.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
right now, the 8th seed is going to be a battle between the Vegas Raiders, the Dolphins, and the Broncos. I don't understand why. Like, what is the point of adding more teams here? I don't get it.
The fear is that they're going to miss more games, and this would help with the revenue. It's the only thing that it's the only logical explanation that I can think of, is that this is all about the money. Follow the path, it's always about the money. And they're fearing that as the bye weeks go by, some of these teams are going to have to shut it down, or then they're not going to be able to move a game, and they're going to miss a week somewhere.
We don't have to worry about any of that. It's November 4th. Coronavirus ended yesterday. We gone. No big deal.
The results aren't in yet, and you don't know that to be true.
I know what's getting ready to happen.
Okay.
If he wins Michigan, we have no shot of winning this. And
Exactly.
I said we. Yeah, this is what.
It won't be over.
Oh no, it's not gonna be over regardless. No, we're gonna. But you remember how well that worked for Al Gore? Oh, okay. I think it's gonna work better with Donald Trump. Really? Okay then. Okay, hanging Chad. I have to say this. I understand it's a sports show. I get it. How in the hell can I send a text message to anybody in the world, and yet we still bubble in who we're voting for president? I feel like it would only take just a nominal amount of money to fix that. This is not like, sending somebody to the moon or Space Force or any of that shit.
Russians.
Can we just figure out a way to hit a button and it be over?
No, because apparently Russians are better at computers than we are. I think I learned that from that whole corrupt the election.
I mean, they were good enough to fool us as to which side they were on by about 4 years.
True. Very true. One win from Election Day, though. We now have Senator Tommy Tuberville.
We're also rid of Mo Davis for what that's worth.
Bye, Mo. Down in Alabama, Tommy Tuberville, former head coach of the Auburn Tigers. Former Cincinnati Bearcat head coach. Whoever thought that a former Cincinnati Bearcats head coach would be a U.S. senator? But he ended up taking that seat down in the Senate, and he joins the long, illustrious list of former athletes and coaches who have served in politics.
Tom Osborne's
Tom Osborne.
That's the one I remember the most.
Yeah. Well, obviously Heath Schuler from right here in
Yep.
our very own 11th District of North Carolina, which, by the way, I do have to throw this out there. I'm extremely disappointed in 8,565 of you.
And we're
you
not
know
gonna.
why.
You just
11th District congressional race.
do
I'm
better.
disappointed in all of those people.
Do better.
Exactly. Jeez, do some research. Anywho, but he joins the long list of guys who have gone from sports into politics. And question is, how high on that list is he of the most famous? Obviously, Tom. You would rank Tom Osborne above him.
Yeah.
As far as influence goes, but I mean Heath Schuler, he doesn't fall on that list for me.
Kane is the mayor
Kane's a
of
good
Knoxville.
one. Yeah, that's a good one. Why did his name just go out of my head?
Huey Lewis in the news.
No, I had his real name. I had his real name in my head, and then I just
Glenn
completely
Jacobs.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know why we
There
need
you
to
go.
know his real name because we all know him by his stage name.
That's true. That is very true. But
Nobody ever looks at that guy and goes, "Hey, it's Glenn Jacobs." They go, "Hey, it's that creepy guy that looked like his face was seared off for about 10 years."
Right. But currently, you've got Anthony Gonzalez in the who's an active serving member. You had Jack Kemp, who ran for president or vice president, excuse me. He was the vice president pick under Dole. I didn't know that Walter Johnson though was a U.S. congressman at one point. That guy. Walter
the
Johnson,
pitcher.
the great from the Washington Senators at one point.
Jesse Ventura.
Was a congressman.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
He was one of the greatest. But it just goes to show you, if your policies don't always play, at least your name will get you over the hump.
Yeah, we got to get out of
Seems to
here.
work out well.
We got to get out of here. I got to go get my crossbow. I'm afraid I'm gonna be nominated for the Hunger Games.
Oh God.
You're talking about districts and shit. All I need to know.
All right, at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Be sure to like it, share it, and follow it. You can follow us on Twitter at SportsTankESPN. He's at Jay Greene ESPN. We'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app from 3 to 5. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. God bless. Godspeed. Good night.